My name is Wilfredo and I came from El Salvador.
My name is Patrick Fitzharris, and I immigrated from the west coast of Ireland, specifically Galway, Ireland, that'd be the Republic of Ireland.
My first name is Guang Hong, and in Chinese that means deep clear water, and I adopted a name that's easier to be called, especially by non-Chinese speakers, that is Spring. And I came from China, mainland China.
Hello, my name is Maria and I come from Mexico.
My first name is Angela, but everybody calls me Angie. And I come from the Philippines.
My name is Cleven and I come from Tanzania.
I'd done what a lot of kids done at that time. I went to the pub, and it was you know, a lot of folks hung out in pubs in those years, especially in the college towns. And I happened to bump into this lovely woman, who's my wife today. And we kind of, as they say today, hooked up. And we went around hitchhiking around Ireland for goodness of several months. About a year later, I found myself on a plane headed to the United States, with no specific plans of what I'd do when I got here, really.
I came to the United States 2 years ago because of my mom. My mom came here 9 years ago, and she wanted to be together again.
I actually came here to go to school. I transferred from my university back in Tanzania to the University of Oregon.
Actually, I actually didn't plan to come to America, and it's a kind of a byproduct of me and my husband trying to be together, and we ran into some difficulties in China in getting married. So we tried to see whether we can get married here.
I migrated from the Philippines, and I came here because I won a competition, a national competition in the Philippines, and for that I was awarded a Fulbright Smith Moon grant. And so my visa was sponsored by the U.S. State Department. So I didn't have any trouble coming.
Education. My parents wanted us 4 kids, to have a better education and not have to pay like as much because it's really expensive in Mexico.
Actually, initially, the obstacles was financial support, but as I continued further, I was able to get some scholarships, and a lot of other friends around Eugene helped, so it became very possible for me to continue with my education.
The first obstacle was the language. I didn't speak English, and I had some problems with my classes and society.
Well, definitely. I mean, obstacles on both sides, in Chinese side and the American side. But I guess no matter where you are, when you really want something to happen, you just want to keep your eyes on the goal, and whatever obstacles along the way, you just find ways to overcome it. It's not particularly like which country, you know. It's more what it takes to get through the process.
It was my first racial prejudice thing, and it was very frustrating because I was shunted from one official to another and ended up I was sent to the minorities office, and when I got there, they told me that I had to monitor their bulletin board daily and wait for a job posting for which I was qualified. Well, that was really very frustrating. So I decided I was not going to wait around. I opened up a small business. So I became a small business owner.
Obstacles, much and many. Some I created myself. Some were more political. The ones I created myself, of course, were by coming here and staying here without any contact with Immigration and Naturalization Service, which is today Homeland Security. For the most part, I ended up having to leave the country after about a year. I went to Canada and eventually back to Ireland. The obstacles beyond that were when I did apply to the Irish consulate in Dublin and went through the process of applying for a visa in the United States. I found that there was a whole other world of stuff that I needed to do. Along the lines of starting out with, interviews about if you were a good person or not.
There was a couple of things. For one, the emotional part of it, leaving your family and like getting all of us here. One of my brothers ended up not coming because my grandmother kept him back. Also figuring out like who was gonna bring us and how we were gonna get here. It was very bureaucratic and just really complicated to figure out where we were gonna stay and who was gonna take care of us and when we would meet our parents and stuff.
I found this community, I mean, the first months I reached here, I just wanted to be part of this community, and I know that to be part of it, and you just give. And so I started volunteering.
I like it. It seems like there's a good amount of like space to be able to express yourself and like be who you are. I would say though, I did middle school and like younger ages are really critical of ethnicity and backgrounds. So I had a bit of a difficult time with that. But other than that, it's a really welcoming and it makes me feel pretty comfortable.
At the beginning, I didn't have too much friends and I didn't talk too much to people. I prefer just to be quiet and silently work alone. But then I overcome my fear and I started talking to people.
Sure. It's been very rewarding working for the community, and if you're willing to do something or you're willing to help with the community, and there are things that you see need doing, things happen. People somehow arise and you meet people and you talk about the idea and things take place. So it's been very, very fulfilling for me working for the community, particularly with human rights and community advocacy in general.
You know, you might walk into a store sometimes and like have somebody stare at you, or just with like jobs and certain things that aren't as available for you. I mean, there seems to be like a double standard for like, people of a different ethnicity other than white. I mean, yeah, obviously there's always going to be something, but that's like everywhere. And I feel like here it's not as harsh as it is in other places.
I came here in 1992. At the beginning of 1993, there was one incident that there were some young people who were driving a car and they kind of started shouting some slur words. But that's the only incident that I felt which came close to being unwelcome.
I've had more people in Lane County do really old-fashioned things than I have any place else I've ever been, except for growing up on the west coast of Ireland. It's one of the things that I love about this place, one of the things that keeps me coming back here, but You know, you arrive in the neighborhood, you're brand new, and people bring over a loaf of hot bread. They've baked bread and they bring it over to your place. That happened to us when we first moved here to Lane County. Folks inviting you over to their home and doing what I call stuff that hadn't happened to me in years. Is we would visit, we would talk over things, and then they would send you a card thanking you for visiting in their home.
Well, the community, I mean, I found some youth groups and some, you know, like groups within schools that promote my culture and are pretty good about like providing space for me to express and exercise that part of myself. So that's been really nice and helpful for me.
Wherever I go, whatever activity I participate, I don't look at myself as an outsider, and I simply feel that I'm here to be a contributor, just like everybody else.
For the future.
I want to become a lawyer because when I was a kid, I always wanted to be a lot of things. I wanted to be like a, how it's called, astronaut, and then I decided to become a lawyer because of the laws and how they work together.
I am hoping to go to Lane Community College for about 2 years and then go to a 4-year college for the study of psychology and sociology, hopefully. And really just, you know, form a family, have a safe, stable income, and yeah, maybe a vacation here and there now and then.
The biggest hopes is to continue to encourage my kids to go to school, to study to the highest level they can achieve. That is the biggest hope I have, and I want to always make sure I help them during their schooling and become part of their schooling as they go through university now and middle school and high school.
Once you're in a community or a place for long enough, you forget that you're different. And you always are. You know, I'm always different. I open my mouth. I can't call up somebody and pretend to be somebody else. They can hear the roll in my tongue and they go, that's Fitzharris, you know. I can't hide. Certain ways that I do things, certain ways that I say things. You know, if I write a paper, if I make a video, no matter what I do, there's certain things that's going to come out in that labels me as whatever. What I'd like to say to the people of Lane County, if I was to say something, is that I don't know that. I don't know that that's happening. You know, I'm unaware that I'm different when I'm doing that. And I have to constantly remind myself that, hey, you know, people are going to know you're from somewhere else and they're going to be curious. And you carry that the whole time. You carry that the whole time. The other part you often notice is that once you're away for long enough, you're kind of a lost soul. You know, I can go back to Detroit, Michigan tomorrow, and I'll never be a Detroiter again. I'll never be a working class laboring stiff of those people that I loved growing up with in Detroit when I landed here. I go back to Ireland and I'm really not Irish anymore either because I got this American accent, as they call it. So I'm lost in that sense too. So you're quartered here and then you're quartered in the middle, someplace in the middle of the United States. And now I'm out here in Lane County. And I'd like to think of myself as this, like, you know, this hippie that lives out in the woods and you know, runs on the path and hangs out in Eugene and goes to the country fair. That's why I'd like to think of myself as. But I'm not really that either.
It is no easy task to be an immigrant. Sometimes life puts you in that position, you have to make that decision. Sometimes you probably choose it yourself, one way or another. But you're pretty much deciding to start anew in a place you've never been to, and you do not know much about, and let alone have friends or families in. And it is truly a leap of faith, and sometimes you actually don't even start from zero. You actually start from a negative number to get you built up step by step. You have to be so emotionally ready for that. Now, you can never be ready. That's how I feel. Looking back, I feel that I was actually impressed with my courage, making that change.
I would like to say that I am a high school senior trying to go to college. I have over 800 hours of community service. I do a program to help out Latino families who are bicultural, and I've been doing that for a while. I'm president in training for Amigos Multicultural Services Center, which helps out immigrant families, and I'm also on their board, and I am an immigrant. I work as hard as a lot of students do, and I have a lot of obstacles in place due to my ethnicity, and that's really difficult to deal with because I see a lot of kids who aren't like as dedicated and devoted, and I wasn't even done, and I just would like to say that I don't think ethnicity should be a reason why somebody who works hard should be held back. So
I have actually lived here more as an adult life in Lane County than I have been in Tanzania. So this is kind of my home. In fact, I don't consider myself an immigrant anymore. And my kids were born here. 2 of them were born here at the Sacred Heart, and this is their home. So it is really pretty much my home. So and I really appreciate the community of Lane County and the people here because they have been so nice to us, to my family and myself, and this is just my home now, very much so.
Dreams can become true with hard work. All people have feelings and they can be hurt about how you treat another person, and you have to be careful how you treat another person.
Wow.
I think an immigrant's life is a very hard life, but it is also very rewarding because it is those challenges that you have to face that make you who you are today, and it makes you stronger. So then when you have to, you have to keep fighting, you're kind of already used to it. So, it's difficult, but it's hard to take us down. So, due to it.
In one way or another, if you look at it in the historical way, we are almost all immigrants. And we could all be transplanted from, another place to a new place. And I feel we all have very unique things to bring to the society, to the world. And let's make good of each other's, goodness, strength, and uniqueness. It's not them or us, or different countries. I have grown in this community. I've grown so much in. We're all in this together, and there's no them or us. So we're one. That's how I feel.
As an immigrant, having been an immigrant for the 44 years that I've been here, because this is where, Lane County was where I applied for naturalization. That it is community advocacy is very, very fulfilling It rounds out your life. And I found out that it is true that America is a nation of immigrants, and that it is an unfinished ideal, and that everybody has to work to make America the America of social justice and equality. And doing so makes us immigrants what we came here to become. Fighting and working hard for social justice and equality, to make America that, because it's an unending thing. It's an ideal that is a continual thing that we can't just give up on and do something else and be somebody else. That's my message to them. And you couldn't, helping other people is so fulfilling. It beats all the money I make in business. It is so rewarding. That's my message.
We are immigrants, old and new. We seek a renewed sense of place and community, meaningful commitment and belonging. We illuminate multiple points of view in the landscape of this particular place. The spaces of our chosen allegiance cradle the hope in our hearts that we too belong here. This is a place where our roots have taken hold, the space where we spread our wings. We are immigrants, old and new. We are hopeful that the chosen places of our hearts are beautiful, subtle, profound, worthy of our lives.